believe.
These are some blurred out photos, and that letter is just a stupid prank. I expected this from Isabella, not you.
I feel
You're the
insulted,
photographer
Jack.
here. I don't see any need to get worked up over this.
I feel insulted.
I know what you mean, but will you hear me out first?
Ash leans back in the seat and doesn't say anything further. He gestures for me to continue with a wave of his hand and patience clear on his face. Any other person telling him this and he would walk out without batting an eye. I suppose the reason to give me the benefit of the doubt is because we know each other.
Ash, I don't easily buy into these things as much as you do. Yesterday, though, behind Hana.
He blinks at that, his eyebrow lifting momentarily before settling into a deep frown.
Hana? Since when were you on a first-name basis with the right missus?
For the sake of
Why does that even matter?
I don't know if I want to look at it.
I thought you said this was just a gig.
Welcome. And not your sanity? Oh no. His voice stays level, but the accusation is clear as day. It's nerving me somehow, more than the toad usually does. Okay, where is this kamikaze? Am I gonna regret seeing this? Is this one of those things that once I see it, I can't unsee it? Hold on. Reaper!
There is a dead human in our house!
Oh, hey! How did he get here?
Reaper!
What did you do?
Me? I didn't do this.
Explain what happened.
Reaper!
I've never seen him before in my life.
Why did you kill this person?
Reaper!
I do not kill people. That is my least favorite thing to do.
Tell me
Reaper!
exactly what you were doing before I got home.
All right. Well, I was upstairs.
Okay.
I was sitting in my room.
Yes.
Reading a book.
Go on.
And well, this guy walked in.
Okay.
So I went up to him.
Yes.
And I stabbed him 37 times in the chest.
Reaper!
That kills people!
Wow! I didn't know that.
How could you not know that?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong here. I suck.
What happened to his hands?
What's that?
His hands. Why are they missing?
Well, I kind of picked them up and ate them.
Reaper!
Well, I was hungry, and well, you know, when you crave hands, that's.
Why on earth would you do that?
I was hungry for hands.
This
Give me a
might be
break.
the most cursed thing I've seen today.
Stomach was making the rumblies.
Reaper.
Only hands would satisfy.
What is wrong with you?
Reaper!
I kill people and I eat hands. That's two things.
What is wrong with you? I kill people and eat hands. That's two things. I haven't seen that in forever. That's such a funny thing. Okay. Carl, that kills people. Okay, sorry. It's nerve with me somehow more than the usual tone does. I do get where it's coming from. It's really just a gig, Ashton. You rude ass. Oh my god, he's so close to like maxed. Patience can be a tough thing to summon at times. But we didn't get as far as friends if you let our own tempers be the Lord.
Bro, it's really just another freelance work.
He eyes me skeptically, the same stare he reserves for people he interrogates. I've been on the receiving end of it before, early in our friendship. Years later, he's already got the unimpressed police to look down
And there's
past.
nothing going on with me and Miss Hana. She was just being friendly. Insisted I call her by her first name.
Hello.
That's all.
I wasn't implying any of that. You're not that sort of guy.
I mean,
I know, but
he's right.
let's just get
We're
that
not.
out of the way. The
Here's my
just-in-case
house.
elephant in the room scenario, aight? She's a married woman, Jesus.
Not with the image she presents in public.
No, but trust me, she ain't any of the things the tabloid writes about her.
Like I read any of those.
Of course.
I know you don't,
Hello,
but
goodbye, Mo.
keep it in mind, will you?
Will do. Though I can't promise she'll get off scot-free if she's involved. Man, with how you're acting, it feels like I'm doing a solid for your girlfriend.
Cut that out, will you? And I'm not asking you to. Besides, what's currently going on here is more important.
All right, lay it in.
Recounting everything takes the better half of lunch, but he manages to listen to the entire thing without a snide comment. A feat in itself, actually. At the end of it, Ashton nearly nods, takes out his phone, and excuses himself. Off to a far corner of the cafe for some privacy, if you could even afford to have such in a place as public as this. He returns in a little while and hands me a small card.
I can't stop you if you're willing to believe in this crap. Give this guy a call. You're better off talking to him than me. He's at the public library now if you want to catch him there. He used to be my professor back in the university.
Oh, no, I don't think that's...
Go on, I already gave him a heads up. You know I can't help you out, man.
He gives my arm a tap and walks off, mumbling about checking back how things are at the precinct. I don't see his face when he leaves, but I know this is his own little way of helping out, despite what he does in voice. Words. Of all the places, it never crossed my mind I'll end up wandering into a public library today, considering I rarely ever visited. Somehow, there's always been this kind of disconnect between me and books in general. Sure, some of them held my attention in my youth, during the brief times of the day I was left to my own with nothing to do. Went through the whole of Grant's collection, as a matter of fact. Read all of them twice, or even thrice even, but they never did hold it for long. Most of them never even sticked. Paul 108, welcome. Especially after I learned it's simply easier to do things I want myself if I wanted to learn stuff. This ain't the plan in the first place. But after Ashton went through the trouble to contact the professor, I can't just ignore it. Nothing but quiet greets me inside, though. Not the typical mum one would associate with a library, but one akin to a hush prior to an impending trouble. Or perhaps I'm just overthinking it again. I really like to think I'm thinking too much about this, and it just is the lack of sleep talking. Regardless, apart from the group of students murmuring in the corner somewhere, the place is free of its usual visitors. All while my footsteps echo in a manner unsettling enough to raise the hairs at the back of my neck. Much to my relief, it does not take me long to find him, being the only occupant in this side of the room. You know what, chat? I really hate, like, pure silence, I guess I should say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're walking through a place, and it's just, like, so quiet that it's got, like, its own, like, weird atmosphere because of how silent it is. I hate that. I hate that so much. Professor Andrew Clark. I've never personally met the man, but Ash has spoken highly of him several times. In fact, he's Ash's go-to guy when something's troubling him with a case. My steps are unsure as I approach. At any rate, he greets me with a warm smile like a grandson he hasn't seen in a long time.
Ashton's friend, I take it. Zachary.
I really like the professor, chat.
You'll have to forgive this old man if I don't get your name right.
Oh, no, you got it. It's Zach. Zachary Steele, Professor
Such
Clark.
a fucking cool name, chat. He gestures at the empty seat across the table while he returns to his books. The next couple of minutes pass in relative silence as he continues to read and take notes from the pile he's accumulated on the table. Maybe I should have taken a book first before heading there? But before I can even get that far into the idea, the professor clicks the book shut and sets it atop the stack next to him.
Ashton told me you were hoping to get answers from me. Although I'm not quite sure what I could share, I'll do my best to help.
Of course, there are a lot of things I want to ask. How to get out of this mess in the first among tens, hundreds of concerns in my head. But in the presence of someone I barely know, the dots won't easily form. He's nothing but patient, however, and with enough time to mull over a question finally
Do you
forms.
believe in the paranormal, Professor?
It's supernatural, actually. Don't worry. It's a common
Good
mistake
show,
to
Chip.
make,
Good
but they really
show.
are two different things. The other one deals with what we can't explain at the moment, while the other are things we may not have an explanation to. Here.
He placed a couple papers in front of me, the very same one he was writing on earlier. A study of Luxembourg and supernatural culture.
A friend of mine wrote that a few years ago. He took interest in the city after reading about the stories. I have to agree with him here. Even stories dealing with things you don't see with the naked eye can be rife with culture, and this city thrives on it. Just ask the locals.
Like ghosts, for example.
Among other things. The interpretation has changed over the years, though. Various religions, for example, have their own version. It might not always be a spirit now. It could be a memory, or an imprint, an echo, so to speak. Some are born from curses, even, out of great anger, hatred, or pain. There was this one story. Here it is.
Another book is pulled out for the stack and placed atop the papers. While he speaks with such passion, that makes me wonder if some part of him believes these to be true. It's interesting, though, even if I'm personally not a fan of such stories. And soon, hours pass.
In the end, it asked for something to be sacrificed in order to destroy whatever anchors the wraith. A sad tale, that one, but the simplest grudge can bring the ugliest, even in the kindest person, with some people none the wiser. Oh, I'm sorry, I just went on.
Nah, it's good. Are you familiar with the Ermengarde Mansion, though?
Of course, that goes without saying. Who hasn't heard of the local legend? In fact, you aren't the first one to ask me about that recently. Although, Word of the mouth is someone has already bought it.
Ah, yeah. The right couple. It was a close friend who handled that sale.
So I heard. Well, don't think the house being bought by anyone would stop us from talking about it. What is it about the mansion, then?
I just want to ask what you think of it, sir.
We're going to need more than an afternoon for that, young man. You see, it's the kind that has changed over the years, passed down from one person to the next. Sometimes, it's the Lord William who haunts the place. There are versions where it's the lady of the house. But my favorite, a personal favorite, would have to be the ones that followed after the disappearance of the kind daughter.
Well, what about these then?
There's a moment of hesitation on my part before I pull out Miss Wright's photos and lay them all in front of him. Unlike Ash, though, the professor inspects each print with great interest. That gives me some hope, at least.
When were these taken?
Just the other day. Do you think those are the same?
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
It's because
There were
he's a
certainly
hoax.
instances when the film would pick up what the human eyes weren't able to see. But then, it could also have been human error.
I didn't edit it in any way. You have my word on that, Professor. They all just came out like that.
Then, if it is what you're thinking, I'd strongly advise against doing something reckless and further tangling with them. Accounts about them may be riveting to you, but most of it often ends in an unpleasant manner.
What about those people in the house? If there is something in there, shouldn't they know? I'm sure they're already familiar with the legends, but...
Some people might deserve it, however.
Deserve what, sir?
All of a sudden, the tenderness in the professor's eyes disappear. His face becomes unreadable. As though catching himself, he hastily clears his throat, gathers books, and rises from his
Professor?
seat.
I'm sorry. I just remembered something I neglected to do. You'll have to excuse me, Zachary.
All right. Do you need any help with that?
Don't let my looks fool you, son. I can still carry a few hundreds. I've been doing this for years. I'll see you some other time if you have any other questions.
Of course. It was nice knowing you, Professor.
Dude, I love the professor. He doesn't hear it, however. In a few short strides, he's out of the library, leaving me and every piece of this whole mess amidst the oppressive stillness. Despite the answers gleaned, more questions surfaced. If there's even a single way out of this, I hope you find it soon. The moon is well into the night sky by the time I make it back home. Oh boy. My heavy treads and the sound of traffic outside echoing in my ears, filling the empty room with some semblance of life. Nana would scold me if she ever heard me walk like that, but after today, I really can't give a damn about everything. The mattress creaks under my weight as I unceremoniously flop down on it and find myself looking at the paper under my grip. An invitation and request to do a cover event at the Wright's housewarming party tomorrow evening. If only without easy, but it'll give me a chance to talk to her. And that thing in her house. With a sigh, I let my hand fall to the side of the bed along with the invitation. Journal. Deck, okay. When my head ain't muddled with the thoughts of a headless woman in a haunt that smiles a ghost. Belatedly, it occurs to me the last meal I ate was along with Ashton. An empty, gnawing ache makes itself known. I can't bring myself to stand up. Today was a complete waste of time and, frankly, a disappointment. I don't like this. The lack of certainty that is quiet, the lack of stable ground to stand on, the part where I do not know what will come tomorrow. And ever since that damn letter, everything has been thrown out of loop. I wish everything stayed the same. Routine would have been easier to make sense than this. Closing my eyes, I let the noise from the street lull me to sleep. At the very least, it's one thing that hasn't changed. The melody carries into the hall, long before I cross the threshold. Solemn, but gentle and soothing, a reminder of what home is. Pa's firm but meaningful gaze, Ma's wistful smiles, and the warm rays filtering through the eaves at sunset. The distinct smell of wet earth and leaves after a long day's rain. And our room. The room, Ma and Pa's pride and joy, a place we were once promised several springs ago. Yet it won't stop.
No, wait! Come back! I'll be good this time! Please don't leave! Please stay!
Yeah. The floorboards are colder on my feet more than it usually is. The walls more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma singing ceases and Pa. I can't hear Pa. Not above the rashes clanging, deafening roars of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There's only blinding fear. When the light breaks, her skin has already taken a sickly pale color, rotten in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion in her body. Bony hands grip Hannah's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malice fills the gleam in her eyes. A scream ripples through the air. My whole body feels distant, every limb with lead, unable to move at will. Not even so can I wipe the beads of sweat forming in my temple. The rasping of my breath easily fills the room in the wee hours while I force it back into a steady rhythm. As tight as in my chest, I can't shake off, my heart pounding against it, as if it's about to burst. Something cold has settled on my legs. Not the usual chill that comes and goes with the passing breeze in the window, but one strong enough to sting, shackle, leave a frigid sensation creeping up my skin. With every struggle I make, the pressure winds firmly against my legs, tighter and tighter and tighter, until it all becomes too much. My heart stops. Another draft sweeps through the room and brings with it the iron tang of blood. Thick, suffocating. Filling my nose with foul, sickening smell, I shift my gaze downwards and slowly it comes into view. Mouth stretched into a hideous smile, and brimming eyes with nothingness but madness. Such a gore taints the air around me, and I can't look away. From it, from the terror and death that her uncanny, twisted features alone scream. Trying to open my mouth to shout, to ask for any help, but my voice has left my body altogether. All I have is a painful realization that no kind of plea will ever save me from her. Then suddenly the bed dips. The brutal pulling back into myself jerks me awake. There's no ear-splitting scream, no wild thrashing of limbs, just a painful, constricting awareness. Something has wound itself tight around my neck. I waste no second pulling it, a blanket away, but allow myself a few minutes to steady my breathing before getting out of bed. Inhale, hold, exhale. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. The dreams have gotten worse. She shouldn't be able to leave the house, though? Oh, she does. Oh, she does! Nandu, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Ever since 2 days ago, no longer are they the small cursory flashes that I'm used to, but vivid ones that linger. I can still feel the blood on my hands, the putrid smell of rotting flesh, the sickening crunch of bones breaking with every movement, and her cold, chilling eyes as they bore into me. I draw one long, ragged breath, and before I know it, I'm walking out the door. Even in the waking world, it reeks. A bench in the park is far from the most private place for thoughts in Loxburn, considering its location at the heart of the bustling city. But in the early hours of the morning, it provides enough peace and quiet for any problematic soul who happens to wander by. Yawn! The city is just waking up a little later than usual, but knowing what day it is, one can't fault it for being a little tardy. That it's just once. How did I do that? And yet, neither the pleasant morning chill nor the soft twittering of birds does anything to banish the images. Every single one has rooted itself in my head, its claws digging deeper into what is no longer a safe place to hide.
London Bridge is falling down,
Nope.
falling down,
Nope.
falling down.
Nope.
London Bridge is falling
Nope.
down, my
Nope.
fair lady.
Nope.
Take a key
Nope.
and lock him
Nope.
up, lock
Nope.
him up,
Nope.
lock him up.
Nope.
Hey, mister!
Fuck that shit! The tiny voice gives me pause. When I look up, a little girl around 6 or 7 is peering at me. 2 wide eyes overflowing with what can only be the natural curiosity one typically sees in children. I vaguely noticed the Saint Gorati uniform she's wearing before returning her greeting.
Hey, kid.
Kylie.
Kylie?
I hate
That's
this.
my
I
name.
fucking hate this.
Mama said it's rude not to call people by their names.
She then bobs down on the empty space beside me. Her little legs, too short to touch the ground, swings in tune with the song she hums under her breath. Nope. This child's gonna fuck up my day, chat. I don't mind kids. Nana would often invite the ones in our neighborhood to give them treats. Of course, by then Sis and I were too old to play with them, but you get used to the commotion eventually. It's not completely as unpleasant as most people would imply. Yup, that's a taste stealer right there, Kamikaze says, correct. Kylie seems to be a well-behaved kid anyway.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Kylie. Is Mama here?
No, but my big brother's with me. He's taking pictures with his camera over there.
She points to the far end of the park, the one closest to the street, where a kid is taking shots of something above him. It doesn't look to be birds because all there is on that side of the park are
I don't
buildings.
see what's so interesting with the tip of a building, though. I'd take pictures of dogs if I were him. They're cuter.
She's right, chat.
Do you have a camera too, mister?
Yeah, I'm actually a photographer.
I don't like this, chat.
Mama said I'm too young to get a camera.
I'm sure your mama will eventually give you one. But won't you be late for school like this?
Big brother will get us there on time. Rowan promised Papa. We aren't going to be late. It's sports day. So it's not good if you keep looking like that today. If it ends up raining and we lose, it's your fault.
What?
All right, I'll try not to upset the clouds today, kid.
Is it because you're sick, mister?
Before I know, a smile is spread across my face. They say the kids ask the toughest questions sometimes. They sure do. Thus, it's here Kylie looks. Lion feels like I'm doing her
No.
a service.
Not sick, just having a very, very bad day.
Why is that? Is that like when my big brother ate all of my pudding? He did that once and then cried. It wasn't very nice of him.
Yeah, I think so. You see, there's this mean girl. She's given my friends and I a lot of trouble. Hard to keep up when things are like that, you know? Especially when you can't do anything. It's kind of scary. Makes you wish things will just stay as peaceful as they used to be.
The fact that
Maybe
she has a
she
full
just
Sprite
wants to
chat
be
is
friends
very
with
weird.
you?
I don't like
I
this.
highly
Rudy
doubt
too.
that.
Welcome, welcome.
She already hurt one of my friends.
What if she's just sad? Or maybe she just wants help. That's what happened with Melody. I let her borrow my crayon when she left hers. Now we're
But
playing.
Melody's the worst.
It's not really the same thing, Kylie.
Exactly. Melody's
What she
the
did,
worst.
they're pretty bad things.
I still think there's another reason. Did you try talking to her? That's what Mama said I should do.
I don't think that'll work either.
You haven't even tried yet. You sound like Rowan. You're just scared, mister.
Shit, chat. She's right. That strikes a chord. Maybe it's the honesty in her tone and simply the words, the truth in the words itself. I don't know why, but I can't help it. I laugh. Loud enough to disturb an elderly couple taking a leisure walk
Why are you
nearby.
laughing?
That's nothing.
You know, Chad, the
You're a really
next time
smart
we see the
kid,
ghost,
you know
we're gonna
that?
try and talk to her. That's the mentality now. The kid's giving us foreshadowing. We're gonna do it. Go full speed ahead, then backtrack when things get tough. Stay in my safe zone because that's what I want to know. From the mouths of babes to the mouths of babes. What's Dr. Navarro should be the one willing to deal with my problems before anyone else? I didn't show up to our next appointment after that, but he's right. And though I hate to admit it, knowing what I've seen, but the kid makes a good point too. And I've been so caught up thinking that there might not be a way out. Maybe there isn't, or maybe there is, but that doesn't mean I should just up and leave it to fate. Aren't spirits supposed to be humans before too? The ghost taxes Twilight! Hold on, not that last one. Did it really lose?
You better get to school, though, or you'll miss sports day.
Oh shit,
You should have
Chad.
won yourself some awards, alright?
Sports day as a kid was
Can I
lit.
show it to you when I do? That can cheer people up, right?
Oh my god. Okay, she's a treasure, although I hate her. I have very mixed feelings. Chat, this child is a treasure, but she's terrifying. Got things to do to face. The first steps, they say.
Nah, I'm good now, I think. Thanks to you. Besides, Mister needs to go. But you should show it to Mama and Papa. I'm sure they'll be proud of you, Kylie.
I will. Thanks, mister. Bye.
Bye, kid. I give her a little pat on the head before heading my own way. Shit, chat. Head pats. Small gesture of thanks from a stranger she didn't know might have helped. She may not understand it now, even though at such a young age she's already has this understanding of things. But maybe when she's older, when the world no longer seems too big for
But
her.
aren't you going to help me, mister?
With what?
I'm sorry, what? Confused, I glance back. Whatever cheer, a little talk has brought his vanished into the shadows, suddenly dancing in my eyes. This frigid air is most definitely not the morning chill. Should feel like bitter, stinging, unwelcoming. And the kid,
What do you think, mister? Are you going to help me?
What do you want from us?
Response never comes, however, because when I blinked, gone.
Hello? Mister? Are you okay?
For several passing seconds, I let my stare linger on her face, waiting for any sign of another change. But all that remains there is a carefree smile of a child, none of that cold, bloody smile.
Nothing, huh? I really need to go, Kylie.
Chad?
It was nice meeting you.
See you again, mister!
I'm breaking into a fucking run, Chet! I don't look back! Not even a bump into a couple passerbys. As soon as I'm out on the busy streets, going insane, that's what this is. And if we don't do something soon, we all will be! The troubles follow me even when I get home. I'd hoped a little stroll around the block for a few hours would help. Instead, I'm assaulted with more images of her smile, the loathing in her eyes, the stench of gore, the horrid crunch that comes with every movement she makes. Even the old memories have been sullied by her. Okay, hold on. What's the journal show for that? Oh, adorable Kylie. Got it. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up, chat. This is after the party. I assumed we'd be going to the party, but I guess not. Even old memories have been sullied by her, and Ma's song no longer sounds as sweet as it's meant to be. Yeah, so the party already happened, because the party happened on the 28th. We saw that when we were in Hannah's perspective. So this is the day that Hannah puts on the necklace. In the end, all I got is a sinking feeling that will never be rid of her image. Another ridiculous idea that may not even work. The sun is already hanging low on the horizon when I make it back. For the first time, coming home feels more like a chore. Only I don't arrive in an empty room, because as soon as I open the door, I'm greeted by none of the...
Sup, Z-Man?
I fucking hate you, Ash.
I told you we should have called him before going here.
It's fine.
I see Ashton first, sitting comfortably on my couch, munching on a bag of chips with both his feet propped atop the coffee table. Whatever proverbial stone has been made a home at the pit of my stomach automatically flies right out the window at the sight of him. But before any exasperation can set in, my attention is taken by the other occupant in the room. Isabella perches on the other chair in the room, attempting to make herself smaller, it seems, from how closely she's hugging her arms against herself. Nonetheless, she gives me a small smile when she notices my stare. Yet somehow, there ain't any warmth in it like there's supposed to be.
Hey, Zach. Sorry we just barged in here. Ash
Kill
was...
the girl, man. Keep the girl, yeah.
Relax.
Wait, what?
Z-Man gave me a copy of the key himself.
Only after you broke the 13th one. I can't keep replacing them every time you think it'd be a good idea to break into my apartment. And stop calling me Z-Man.
I didn't break anything this time.
Ash, just because I gave you a key doesn't mean you can just stroll in here whenever you want to. And, hey, is that my...
Ash smirks at me because, of course, he has the gall to smirk knowing what he did. He pops in what's very likely the last piece of chip in his mouth and folds the wrapper neatly on the table before throwing it on the nearby trash. From her chair, Isabel shoots me an apologetic smile as soon as the foil hits the waste bin with a dull thunk. Common sense dictates that I should be angry, but after everything, having something normal play out in front of me, no matter how childish their antics can get, I can't bring myself to muster a tidbit of it. Kill him! Behind me, the TV starts blaring the music for the end credits of a movie. They've likely been waiting for a while if Ash has got patient enough to rummage through the cupboards and watch.
Of course he eats all of it. You know, I was saving that for the weekend. Did you at least share some with Bella?
Don't worry about it. I'm good, Zach.
I'm not! He ate my chips! Kill him, Chet!
Really? But it's free food, you know? What was that you usually say? You don't say no to free food? What happened?
No, I'm just not hungry.
Ashley shrugs at the question in my eyes. Yeah, I was gonna say, what happened to Bella? We haven't seen anything else past her story. And she didn't go this far. I can't be the only one that finds this vibe she's getting off to be odd. The guy has no doubt caught wind of it. Hold on, I'm curious what branch he uses.
But if you want something, just say so.
Oh my god, Chet. Oh my god. Oh my god. This game is nuts. This game is nuts. Wow, we have a lot of choices before the end. Oh. Well, this ends one of two ways.
I've got a fully restocked pantry right here at your disposal. Still not a 5-star level thing, but for an empty stomach, it'd do.